Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again back from a rather small hiatus from making any videos. Been doing a few other things, like playing D2 and some New World. And this video, or this character, has been ready to go for like the past week or so, but I just haven't gotten around to making the video for it. And it is a bit of a shame because it is a very good character and possibly one of the best ones I've made in the league. For clear, not necessarily for single target, but still respectable single target, but for clear and fun and all that, it was a very solid character. And it is the second or third time, I can't really remember, I'm building into the newest version of Lancing Steel. So Lancing Steel, when it came out, I don't know, a year or two ago or some shit, wasn't very good, and it didn't really look like this. It did go under a big revamp, and it got made a lot better, to be honest, but it was still, I don't know, not too loved by a lot of people. Savior, I think, made it a lot nicer, as you could have additional clones of you throwing out Lancing Steels, and then also Deadeye, I feel, makes it quite a bit nicer for just having that sniper's mark clear on certain fights and certain targets to get bigger single target as well. I've made a Impale version of this character as a Deadeye, which was like a year ago or something, and this time around it is a pure Ellie stack version, which doesn't really have any synergy with Lancing Steel to begin with or anything, since Lancing Steel is entirely Impale based, and then you need those Call of Steel shards, but that doesn't stop Ellie versions from working. And this is once again with Savior, it is once again a Deadeye, but it is pure elemental, as we convert most of our fizz into elemental, so it is 90% conversion. And it is important to still have some physical damage so that you actually impale regularly, which basically takes Void Forge off the table, because Void Forge makes it so you can't deal any fizz damage, and you also don't want to fully convert your damage, so 100% fizz daily doesn't really work too nice, just because you won't ever impale, and then you can't really Call of Steel spam to get back shards and have more shards flying out. So basically what happens is when you do have some Call of Steel shards to use, if you use your Lancing Steel, you'll fire off more projectiles. So it is just a pretty big increase in your clear as well as your damage. So without having those Call of Steel shards up pretty reliably, it does feel quite a bit worse. In any case, you can see that the character works pretty well to just clear entire screens, and it's this non-stop just machine gun of projectiles everywhere. Sometimes when you're stopping and doing some clear, and also when you put Sniper's Mark on an enemy, that's when everything splits out into like everywhere, the entire screen. But then you've also got your Savior clones who are attacking quite a bit longer than you on some targets, and that just proliferates more throughout the screen because of that. I believe we ran Chain on the build for quite a while, but at this point it might be Pierce. From memory, I did end up getting enough damage and enough projectiles to justify Pierce, and started playing with the Pierce support gem, I think. But Chain for most of it was quite a lot of fun, especially with the Deadeye Chain Ascendancy as well. So we're getting quite a lot of chains using the Chain Gem and the Chain Ascendancy, and it's very comfortable clear indeed. Slightly worse single target, so when we're more of a Pierce setup, you do end up basically just having your clear and your single target pretty much always activated, and it's just up to you to sometimes put out a sniper mark. So I did go ahead and basically do the thickest maps I've done this league with this character. This is like double Beyonded some Delirium with all the sextants, and it had Nemesis Sextant, and it had all kinds of crazy shit from Scarabs and stuff. And basically the main sort of theme that we're going for with this character is life gain on hit, so that given that you're attacking so many times, as long as you are attacking and hitting something, then you will be pretty much topped off at full life at all times, and it becomes pretty damn hard to die as long as you're engaged in combat. So I've got life gain on hit on a couple of rings, and through some Feast of Flesh on the cluster passive tree, and then as long as we're attacking and we've got some steel shards out, you basically go back up to full life no matter what happens to you, and that does create some pretty good face tank opportunities, and I'll show you that in just a second. But you can see the single target for the build isn't anything too special. It was reliable, and the Impale version probably still has better single target at the moment. If you build into pure Impale, you could even do Champion realistically, and I know people do play Lancing Steel Champion at the moment. But you can see it's decent enough single target. The playstyle is pretty decent as a ranged character. You put on Sniper's Mark and it's going to clear the entire screen of any adds that spawn. But on top of that, the life gain on hit. So you can just stand there face tanking anything that's not going to reliably one-shot you. So just a small example here. On this boss, when just decided to test how much I could stand still, and quite a bit. I also did want to try a pure early version of the build as like Hions and a Raider, and I think that's totally viable, and Raider in general for this type of idea totally viable. I just really like what Deadeye brings to the table for projectile skills in general. And as well as that, I did forget to mention that there's Vile Lightning Strike. It's just basically an additional button for a little bit of extra damage since we do scale projectile damage. So I was using Vile Lightning Strike kind of for bosses, doesn't do too much there, but also for expeditions it quite a bit helps out quite a bit. And then lastly, you should be able to tell that there's quite a bit of frame drops sometimes if you're positioned in the right place on your screen, where you're basically seeing all of the shards and you're attacking fast enough and all of that. Doesn't seem to happen too often, but sometimes this can be an absolute FPS destroyer. Just, I don't know, seems situational. I think maybe you have to be more or less on top of the enemy boss so that you're seeing all of the projectiles. It is a bit weird indeed. But certainly one of the best characters I've played in the league, and Savior does make it quite a bit nicer, so if you can't get one of those, it just won't feel as fun, I don't think. But it also won't be for everyone, because you do constantly have to press your Call of Steel button. And here's a good example of our life gain on hit going to work as well. Just basically, I'm hunting those Shaper Beams to stand in to prove a point. But yeah, Call of Steel basically non-stop, so that won't be for everyone. A lot of people won't like that, and that's possibly why Lancing Steel isn't more popular at the moment, because splitting steel into Lancing Steel, leveling, and then just endgaming is a pretty good combo, but still not terribly popular at the moment, and the single target just isn't massive, I suppose, with my current character, but I do think it can go higher if you build it a different way, probably Impale. Maybe Champion, maybe some other shit like Berserker would be absolutely insane with the attack speed, but I'll leave that up to interpretation. You can definitely do different versions of Lancing Steel if that's what you feel like doing. In any case, I'm sorry I've been AFK for so long. I will still post this character's path of building and all that. Won't actually go over it myself this time around, but yeah, I love playing the character. Check out Lancing Steel if you think it looks rather interesting, and if you have the right gear and the right computer for it. But I'll leave you guys with the Maven kill on the character from about a week ago. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. This phase should be good for us, I reckon. Maybe. Everything gets hit pretty well, doesn't it? really shouldn't tunnel vision the brain that hard. They can't attack anything. Well, viable for sure, dude. Probably even afford to shave off a bit of life. What? Actually got hit by DJ Bam? Ow. Pretty sure I didn't. Yeah, not too bad so far.
My mana is gone.
And having dash instead of flame dash is so bad on this. I already don't remember what I'm doing. Did I start here? Fuck off, that hit me. I had my totem up and it hit that. I was kind of near it. Yeah, that's pretty clean. No, we lose, right? What do we want, a Maven Orb? This smelly sextant is some shit hat that everyone wears?